Denis Rothman, hello to Paris.
Hello, Nancy. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I wanted to take the chance to continue our conversation from last time, and we were talking about artificial intelligence and consciousness. And one of the things that struck my attention is you are a person that is very much outside the yes and no, black and white kind of world. And as we know, coding today is still using 0 and 1. And I wanted to ask you, tell us about quantum computing and why a world of yes and no, black and white cannot be our future.
Okay, so this is one of my deep thoughts, as I was telling you. Since the 70s, when I started thinking, I never believed in yes and no. So let's go quickly to I was very quickly attracted to quantum physics in the 70s already, and there is no yes and no. Because why? Because a quantum bit is what we call superposition. It can be yes and no at the same time. It's 0 and 1. It's not 0 or 1. So it's exponentially more intelligent and much more powerful. So now you have a quantum bit that can be yes and no. And then you have another quantum bit that become yes and no as well. And now they can be entangled. One part of it can influence the other. And now we're getting close to the real world. The real world is not yes and no, because in one culture it's yes, in another culture it's no. In one conversation it's yes and no. And if you put what everyone thinks together, you'll have a long chain of variables with a little coefficient that will add up to 1. So the world is the sum of everything that's in it. No one's right or wrong. It's the sum of rights and wrongs that makes the truth. Now, quantum computing will take computing to the next level. And I worked a lot on this, and you get much better results for chatbots, for anything. You get much power, you get powerful results and reasoning and thinking than just yes and no. I mean, yes and no is the past for me.
Indeed. And can this avoid bias in a different way?
Well, bias is part of human beings. Bias is part of the truth. We live every day with bias. I'll give you a very simple example. When you get up in the morning, you see a beautiful day, you see the sun rise. At the end of the day, you see the sun set, but in fact, that doesn't exist. The world is just turning around in circles, and there's no such thing as a sunrise and a sunset. Yet we live thinking that the sun rises and the sun sets and it's on top of us and all that. And we're standing up, although we may be standing down. So bias is not a problem. It's part of the way we live.
Excellent. Let's talk about bias in our next video.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.